special Week 10 anniversary edition for you guys.
Anniversary? Yeah,
Not
I
really.
think...
When we mentioned it last week, it's just like, that's no, Hannah, shh.
Shush.
But we promised it. We went with it. We
I
did
feel
it.
like it's a pretty special one anyway.
It is a pretty special one. We've got a lot planned for you guys.
We do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna sneak something in here.
Yeah.
Production magic means sometimes we record the intro after we've filmed a section.
Yeah.
And I had a great time playing State of Decay 2 with Hannah today. It was really funny to watch her. Sometimes it was really good. I'm gonna say it really fast so I can get it in there.
It has been a magical day today. So we had a lot planned for you guys. We have a very special guest on this podcast today. His name is Mr. Thomas Wilkins, and we'll introduce him in the next couple of segments, telling you who on earth he is,
absolutely,
what he does, and why he is so awesome. But he is a friend of mine that I phoned in to help me play State of Decay 2, because I think you guys just watching me try and play it would be incredibly frustrating. And me and Fletch had a quick jam on our own.
It was like, great.
Hannah, what are you doing?
Hannah's gonna talk she's gonna talk down to herself. She doesn't deserve to get talked down to when it comes to State of Decay 2. She added so much extra value.
Entertainment value, nothing else. Like, we started, like, just to make sure our setup was all good and stuff, we started, I spawned into Fletcher's game. I don't know if that's right. Look at me go with my terminology and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, gamer.
You must well be a gamer girl now.
But yes, I spawned into Fletcher's game, and I was just like, I'm in a house, like, this is cool, what's this? And he was just like, what? Like, where are you in the game? Like, this is the first thing you do. So apparently, you play an intro where you get landed in the camp, and you've got to, like, figure things out. It teaches you how to search through things, how to fight zombies, all that kind of stuff. I've done that. I've passed that. Congratulations, pat on the back. And I've just been wandering around doing stuff, having a good time. I've played it twice before today.
But how long have you played in each session? This is why I thought I just assumed that you had a house.
I'm learning, guys, alright?
I know, but it has an arrow on the map. It tells you where to go.
I tried.
I'm sorry.
You'll clearly see in our gameplay today that I don't know what's going on.
Few highlights.
I'm trying, but I heard, zombie apocalypse, so I'm very interested and a little bit too keen on just killing zombies. Like, that is what I'm there for. I'm bringing the thunder, starting the party. But so I spawned into Fletcher's house. I was super excited, and then he just goes, Hannah, like, your character's wounded. Like, she's having a hard time. What are you doing?
I wonder what will happen, because once your characters are dead, they're dead.
All of my characters are now probably dead. Like, because I was changing them out because they were, like, fatigued or whatever. I didn't know you could change them out. I learned something today.
There you go.
But so hopefully you guys do enjoy our gameplay there. We had a lot of fun doing it. Probably took up a little bit too much of our day.
Too much of our day. Now we're catching up. It's going to be a late one.
It's going to be a late day for us today, but very, very exciting. Heaps and heaps of fun. Obviously, we've just had a long weekend here in New Zealand, so we're now recording on Tuesday after Queen's birthday weekend. And sometimes when you've had a long weekend, getting inspired and getting back into things, it can take a little bit. So that's inspired us for question of the week this week, is what has inspired you in technology this week?
I really like this question because it came so bang on time, Hannah.
So bang on time.
It came so bang on time, and the reason is, so normally every morning I ride a motorbike into work, right? So that's normally and I love to listen to podcasts, but I don't listen to podcasts when there's heavy traffic on a motorbike. That's a bit silly.
We care about your safety, Fletch.
Care about my safety.
Headphones and motorbikes don't necessarily mix so well.
Headphones and cars don't either, guys. Just gonna leave that out there.
Controversial take. I would never use my headphones in the car.
Yeah.
I think I have once because of my first ever car.
Gosh.
And let me tell the story. In my first ever car, I didn't have a proper sound system.
Yeah.
It was a matte black Toyota Torino, which says everything. 16 years old, I thought it was super cool. But I decided on my way to school that I'd listen through headphones.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what song. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I can't remember what song it was, but in the song, like, there's sirens and then a car spins out. Can't remember what it was for the life of me, but I got such a fright because I thought that was genuinely happening around me that I was just like, nah. never again, can't possibly do this. So that was incredibly off topic. But
well, I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
So, so normally I ride a bike, but today, because as everyone who's been in Auckland over the weekend knows, weather's been crap.
It's been anywhere around the country. I spent the long weekend with my family down in the Hawke's Bay, and I nearly didn't come home back to Auckland because I got through Bayview, if anybody knows the Hawke's Bay particularly well, through Bayview I was heading on to the Napier Taupo Road, and my gosh, it was flooded, there were trees on the road, there was just water hosing out of the hillside. I was just like, if this is the whole way back to Auckland, my Mazda Demio can't handle this, I'm not getting back to Auckland. But I got here, we're fine. I had a podcast to record, I had to come back.
Yeah. We've got stuff to do.
We've got stuff to do. Yeah. So given the poor weather over the weekend, you decided to bring your car over and you rode
I did. I brought my car in. I like how you brought it back there. That's good.
You're just looking at me like...
I was just like, my turn to talk. No, but yeah, I took my car in, and that means I could listen to the podcast. And as everyone knows, I listen to NFL podcasts all the time. And I actually talked about this on, I think, my podcast number 2 or 3. There's an NFL podcast where guys started talking about mixed reality and how they're using that in the NFL now. They really just touched on it, but they actually brought an expert in today because they were so amazed by what's going on that they really wanted to deep dive into it and understand how it's actually impacting a team and how it's used.
Cool.
So I found out not just the NFL, the NBA are another big uptaker of mixed reality, and they're using it for all sorts. Not one of the key things they use it for is they get a quarterback to put on a headset and they'll run a bunch of plays. So you'll see he'll get in there, he'll see guys around him, he'll see defensive linemen trying to break his legs or something like that.
Whoa.
No, not actually, but they're trying to get to him, right? He's the prize, and they want to get to the prize, and he's got to look at what's happening and come up with a decision. So whether he's going to change the play, so change how his protectors, his offensive linemen, keep people away from him, or change how his catches, the wide receivers and the tight ends, change where they're going to go on the field so he knows where they're going to be and can chuck the ball to them without getting tackled and hurt. So they run through a lot of plays like that. But they also record every practice they do. So they get tons of cameras, they record so that he can go back in and relive what was happening on the practice field. And there's a really, really important reason for that. Not only does it bring up what's called his football IQ, so his understanding of the game. In the NFL, you're actually really heavily restricted on how much time you can actually train with the team, or whether it's physical training with pads. They put all these restrictions so that players get a life too. That's a big part of it. So they're and they also want to concentrate on safety, so non-contact.
Yeah, so, I can imagine just getting crashed into 24/7. You're not going to be able to play the sport for very long if you're doing that every single day, right?
Some people are just so keen on being the best they can be, no matter what the situation. They run routes, so they run like a pattern across the field. And some guy broke his ACL doing that just not that long ago. So that's how hard they put
go for
everything
gold.
into it.
They super hard.
They don't know how to dial it down. They always want to be the best. So so this all of a sudden lets them have a whole bunch of extra training reps. So it adds so much more value. And the guys on the podcast, I honestly you've seen us in this podcast situation. I wish I was in that room because I just wanted to be like,
mate, but let me tell you about
something. Let me tell you, Windows Mixed Reality already does this, because they started to talk about, it would be so cool if you could see your hands, and I'm like, see your hands in Windows Mixed Reality, and they're like, and to interact with the way decisions are, or know how to use your hands when you're an offensive lineman to block defensive linemen trying to get past you. So there was all these stuff that they were talking about, and I'm like, you know what, mixed reality can do that. And mixed reality has all these cool interactive games and all sorts of awesomeness that they talked about, which made me realize, kind of made me realize a little bit that, one, I don't think the mixed reality message is out there as much as I'd like it to be.
I firmly agree with
which
that.
is definitely a big thing. But also just how it reinforced how mind-blowing it is and how mind-blowing the possibilities are for people, and how, you know, when you relate it back to something they're interested in,
Absolutely.
how much more it will have an impact, how they'll get, you know, verbally excited, or they'll get visibly excited, and they'll be like, it'll be cool if it can do this, if it can do this, if it can do this.
Totally.
And getting them to understand, hey, those are all possibilities that are either just around the corner, or, you know, if they're in a business, like NFL's a pretty big business, pay a coder,
sure.
and they'll make it for you.
Yeah, and that's something as well which I find quite inspiring about that story there. Is that obviously Microsoft and the NFL have had a relationship for quite some time. And I remember when I think the Surface Pro 3 first came out, they were really emphasising being able to like take photos and videos of gameplay and draw on your Surface with it. Amazing. That is super cool. They've obviously seen a lot of success in that.
And they still use it.
They still use it
absolutely
for gameplay on the field, for in their breaks, all of that kind of thing.
And even the one thing I noticed, sorry, just I'm so into my NFL, obviously. Even the NFL Films crew use Surfaces. So there's a great YouTube channel called NFL Films, and they have like all sorts of cool documentaries and highlights and everything.
I know, I can see it on our YouTube feed.
On our YouTube feed. And you can see Surface Pro 3, Surface Pro 4, Surface Pros used not just on the field, but by, you know, these people who are creating awesome video content, and it's really saturated through the whole level of the NFL and gone into the media side of it and everything. It's super
and
cool.
you can see, like, I don't necessarily relate sport and technology. But the NFL have obviously seen how much it's done for their game and what they're doing, that they've now gone from what they originally started using Surface for, so, you know, using the pen and stuff and video and inking and all of that sort of thing, and they're now gone, how can we make this even better? And bringing kind of that virtual mixed reality vibe into it is incredible. And like you said, you know, looking after their players, even people still being able to practice in some way or form if they're injured or taking time out, or they travel heaps, right? So having like an on-the-go practice simulator is
super
amazing.
Important. And it's also a really good platform to look at just in how technology is looked at in the real world as well when you compare the two, because sports has a lot of traditional people who don't want to change. So there's got a lot of traditional people who don't want to change, who need to see the value, but really have that value smashed into their face for them to understand that, hey, maybe my life can get easier if I use it. So it's really cool to see that, because it's saturated through everything now. And obviously teams have been impacted by it, because NFL, you have to like remember 100 different plays of how people might move differently on the field on your team and stuff.
It's pretty comprehensive.
So
like it
really
does look
important.
like a bunch of strong men running into each other. But it's a tactical.
It's a very tactical game, which is why I like it. But it's, you know, if these traditional people, these very strong-minded traditional people who are coaches, can understand it and buy into it
and see its value and how they can use it in other ways.
Then that means to me that it's possible to make anyone see the value and want to use it.
All right, welcome team. We have a very special guest on the podcast this week. It is Game Master, Mr. Thomas Wilkins. So welcome, Thomas. Can you tell us a fun fact in his beautiful little square in the background? This is the best option we came up with for how to make this work. But tell us a fun fact about yourself, Thomas.
I don't know how fun it is, but despite being Australian, my accent...
That's a fun fact. Sorry, just interrupted you straight away there.
Did not know that you're Australian.
I have known Thomas for nearly 4 years now, and I think it wasn't until like at least 2 and a bit years into our friendship, I think it was just before I moved to Auckland, I found out you're Australian. I was like, what? Rewind. So give us some life story context there, please, Thomas.
So, born and raised in Australia, I was there until 2000. It was literally just after millennial celebrations, and came across to New Zealand and been here since. And my accent is so mushed from my like Kiwi accent because I was still young, but my heavy Australian accent that frequently people are like, "Oh, you're from Europe, are you?" And I'm like, "No, nothing at all." And they're like, "Oh, you're from the States, right?" I'm like, "No, not at all."
That's crazy. To me, you just sound Kiwi.
Yeah, same. Now that you mention it, though, like, yeah, I'm similar. People have asked me, like, where are you from, Hannah? I'm like, here, been here forever.
I think,
but you do have an obscure accent, Thomas.
There's a little
it's
bit
just
of
different enough.
I think Wellington has like their own little.
We've got our own
tiny
dialect.
flair.
The
Yeah.
hipster dialect
The
of
hipster
Wellington.
dialect.
But another
It's
fun
enough
fact.
international setup, so.
Another fun fact about Thomas Wilkins is that he's from Wellington and he doesn't even drink coffee. And with a beard like that, you would just make that assumption.
Coffee's the worst, and all the time, especially when it's like dressed nicely in like a hipster outfit, people are like, "Oh, you want to go get a coffee?" I'm like, "Can I have a hot chocolate?" Because
Dressed nicely in a homeless hipster outfit.
Every time, like, because I first met Thomas, my very first shift as a promoter for Microsoft in store, and so like when you're a rep for a company, it's very much like your ticket to making friends is offering to buy them a coffee. So I very quickly learned Thomas is either a hot chocolate kind of guy or a blue V kind of guy.
Is that why you're not friends? Because it didn't work in your first meeting?
Well, he's talking to me now, so I feel like we're friends, right, Thomas? Can you just, for the people, clarify? You're my friend, right, Thomas?
yes.
Excellent, good.
That sounded so desperate, Hannah.
Please tell the people.
Are you my friend? No.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
So there is actually a reason, other than letting you guys know that I do have some friends out there in the world. There is a reason that we've got Thomas on the podcast today. Tell us a little bit about what you do in the Expert Zone community, Tom.
So I am a part of the ExpertZone New Zealand team, which what we do is we stream almost daily on our particular channel. So originally it was just one channel based out of the States with about 20 other streamers. Now each country has their own team. So me and the New Zealand team, there's 5 of us in total. We stream 5 days a week, obviously, because there's 5 of us. And yeah, our entire goal is to create a community where people can come in, they can chat, they can ask questions about the game. If they don't have people to play with normally, they're more welcome to jump in our games with. And also to showcase the latest and best from Microsoft and Xbox. So we do a lot of, because we're obviously first in the world for the day, a lot of games release at midnight here, so we're the first people to get it. So what we tend to do is we try to do for all the popular games is stream it literally as soon as it goes live, and people love it because
that's awesome.
The States can't see anything. So, but yeah, it's all volunteers, like community service. So we're not paid employees. We do this all just because we want to create a community to have that kind of environment for everybody.
That's great. You know, what we'll try to do is next time that happens. We'll give you a shout out. We'll post a link. We're going to post links on the ExpertZone New Zealand Facebook page anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there is, and I think every time we've done a podcast, we slowly learn that like there's just more and more to what we do. Yeah. There's more and more people out there who are awesome fans, and who are already doing stuff like Thomas and the 5 others, or 5 in total, Tom?
5 in total.
5 in total. So the 5 Game Masters of New Zealand. There are other people around the world as well. But yeah, so there's so much going on in the Expert Zone community that we want to keep you guys properly informed. And as Tom said, we're first in the world, baby. New Zealand living in the future, #1. So getting out there, seeing those new games as soon as they're released to the world is very exciting.
That's super cool. I didn't even think about that. I can't believe I didn't. But that's super exciting.
We were one of the, so Fallout 4 obviously was one of the biggest games. We were literally, I think, the second channel live with it, and yeah, it was just nuts. It was the first time we ever got like a viewership like that, and yeah, that legend Tom did that, and he was just sitting there going, "I didn't expect this. I just wanted to play the game first."
And there's so many people watching me. I better be good. I do have a question for you, Thomas. So obviously, first question: how long have you been a game master for ExpertZone?
Since early 2015. So originally we started on Twitch because obviously Beam and Mixer weren't a thing quite then-ish. So we started on Twitch. We did that for until early 2017, I think it was, from memory. And then from early 2017, we switched on to Beam, which then became Mixer and the rebranding thing. And we've been on that ever since.
And you ever so beautifully picked up what I was putting down there and essentially led me to the question that I was going to ask you. I kind of answered it. So obviously moving from Twitch to Mixer, we've talked a little bit about Mixer and what's so awesome about it. But could you just tell us a little bit about why you guys stream on Mixer? Obviously it's a Microsoft product, so that's why we go forth and we do it that way. But what is it that you love about streaming through Mixer?
Well, so obviously the channel switched over because it was Microsoft, as we just established, but that wasn't even the main reason, because a lot of us who stream in the channel also have our own personal stream, so we all then decide to come across the Mixer because, one, it's ease of access, it's showcasing new streamers or variety streamers a lot easier, it's interactiveness. So, for example, if I was playing... Let's say, for example, PUBG is the main game that they feature at the moment. PUBG and Fortnite, they can have an interactive panel down the bottom, and the stream, if you have an account and you logged in, you can actually interact with that panel to either make it so there's like cool notification noise or cool challenge mode. So, for example, the big thing at the moment is if I was playing PUBG and I want to play silently, I don't want to be spotted, I don't want to fight anybody, the stream can control all my other controls. So they can make me jump, shoot, drop my gear, run around. So cool things like that. So it makes you interact with the stream. So not just people are sitting there watching you, they're a part of it kind of thing. So it's building community a lot more interactively. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome and a little bit terrifying, right? Like that's putting a lot of faith in strangers.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, it's real ruthless. Yeah. Thankfully, it's something you can turn off if you kind of gets a little bit too crazy. But
if the people are just straight trolling you, just cut them off.
Yeah.
How often?
That's what it's designed set up.
How often do you find that people like make you drop your gear and stuff like that?
I thankfully have not done it. The type of games that I stream don't have that kind of setup for it all. I am looking to do that with some of the new ones, and because I do. So my main game that I stream at the moment on Wednesday nights is Destiny 2. So things I want to get started going is interactive controls for like, jumping, grenades, activating ultimates, all that jazz kind of thing. So things that will throw me off that I'll be sitting there going, I thought that was, oh no wait, they haven't streamed it. It's a lot of fun. And then also like the teams, the channel setups that you can have. So like teams that can get together to showcase each other kind of thing. So for example, we have the ExpertZone channel group. So we're paired with all the other channels, which we can advertise the others. Or not advertise, but like, segue, be like, hey, I'm finishing, but it looks like Australia's online. So you can go and jump on them as well.
That's cool.
Awesome, because obviously as we established, you guys are all volunteers, so we can't just have you there 24/7. Just cranking out content.
No way.
but there is a reason that obviously we established that I have friends in the outside world. So that is reason number one that Thomas is here. Second of all, telling us about the awesomeness that the ExpertZone GameMasters do. So we will make sure that we link everything so you guys can get involved. Please don't go on and just troll them. Be helpful, get involved in some Mixer streams. But the real reason that Thomas is here to join us is last week on the podcast, I absolutely overpromised in my new life as a gamer. So I have phoned in my friend to help us out in playing State of Decay 2. So let's head on over, let's pick up our controllers and wish us all luck. Please be patient with me, guys. Where are the zombies, boys? What are we doing?
So first up, if you want to look at the map, so everything that's red, there are zombies there.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of safe zones, but mainly not. There's zombies everywhere. So we've got a couple of options. So we can either we can go help the community goals, which is finding the medieval weapon by taking control of Vargas. We can go help an enclave by giving them food. Or we can investigate survivor activity at the
let's
Rickety
do something
Barn.
enticing and incredibly fun.
Alright, we're going to go help.
Did you say Rickety Barn?
Yeah, at the Rickety Barn is literally what it's called.
Back up over here, ASAP.
Right, I'm following you guys.
I have a handy dandy car over here.
How are we supposed to put up with this?
What a guy.
That's literally what we were talking about before we were playing on Fletcher's game. It's just, I'd be better if I had a car. So
I didn't have one yet.
And he's just like, being Thomas's car. Hey guys.
I thought you were in.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were jumping on the car.
Wait.
Hannah, you need to
You
press
have to press
Y
Y to
to
get on the
ride
side of the car.
Okay, well, I'm just sitting in. Oh my god. It
Just drive, Thomas. Just drive.
Oh no, there's a zombie on the side of
by the
the
way.
car.
Help. Oh.
Just saying. Oh, okay, cool.
Okay,
I'm
alright.
gonna be better. Let's.
So,
enter
you
is
see
not
where
driving.
it
I'll press
says-
Y now. Okay, I'm in there. I've done it. I'm there. Get in, please. Come
I'm
on,
getting
we have-
inside.
Get in the car. Oh. I don't want to change seats. I'm staying here. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh.
So obviously, yeah, you can hold down
zombies.
X
Yeah, I've heard 'em.
to open the car
And
door.
it opens the door.
I'm just here for the
Say
road
it.
noise. I just asked why we're all just standing around
Yeah.
staring at Thomas. in
Thomas
this
is
game.
telling us the story, right? No,
Lead the
I'm
way,
joking.
Mr.
Yeah.
Wilkins.
So with
Wanna
I'm
kill
not sure
some
if you
zombies,
have.
guys?
Okay, well we can continue on the next part of this quest, which is travel with Liz in a to a former hideout, the Blue Panel Garage. So obviously when we're in
That
these kind of
sounds
barns and everything,
brilliant.
everybody has their own color identifying
just-
loot system. So I'm yellow, Fletcher's blue,
Go away.
Hannah you're orange. Hey,
Everyone's just having a good old laugh at Hannah, just stuffing around. I'm helpful, okay?
that's right. Cars are hard. We all know that. So
Yeah.
oh. I'm
Whoa,
not the best.
sorry.
I'm not the best driver.
One thing I did find out for handy tips is when you hit zombies with the door, your car takes less damage, so it'll last longer.
Oh my god. Oh.
Very, very cool. And as you go up, and because as for everyone watching and listening, we have a pretty much once you start doing stuff, whether it's running around or driving, you'll level up on skill. So if you run around, you'll get better at sprinting. If you drive around a lot, you'll get better at driving.
I'm just desperately trying to follow everyone else.
I'm just jumping on the fence.
Whee! Everyone jumped over the fence, so I jumped over the fence too.
But yeah, as you get better at driving, your car takes less damage as you, which is really handy because you have to find like repair packs and stuff when your car needs to be fixed. So everything is this game is so literal on surviving. You get tired, you have to swap characters who you're
And
playing
when you die, you
with.
die, right?
When you die, you die. You can have a funeral to
Really?
to
I didn't know that.
make everyone a little bit happier.
I wouldn't know. I haven't
Your-
died yet.
Your followers will actually, or the people living in your place, they might actually start stealing from you and stuff. So sometimes you have to kick them out, and they'll become your enemies once you kick them out of your settlement.
We can search this place
There's
quickly, okay?
alternative ways to drop them off where there is a juggernaut, and then you can hold a funeral and get the benefits from doing that. But you're really
What's
meant to
that?
kick them out.
I haven't come across that
Desperate
yet.
times,
so
my friend.
No way I can fit this.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm pretty lucky.
Oh gosh.
But like some of your characters, I have had one of my characters start a fight because I really struggled with food when this game started. That's why pretty much all my buildings are farms or gardens. Yeah, it was really hard to get enough food, and then my moral went down, and someone just started a fight.
Oh god. I don't.
Where is everyone? Thomas, you're in my vicinity. Where are you, Fletch? You look more
I'm just
exciting.
Fletcher's gone to the
You're in
next
a
house.
house.
I'm raiding. Yeah, I'm just taking
What?
stuff.
I'm I found
I like
Hannah
raid-
is confused.
I found a shelf that was just overloaded with loot, and my backpack was too full, so I'm
far with all
trying to
this?
take what I can.
Yeah, yeah.
It was too full.
How full is the trunk? So that's the other cool thing. You can fill up the trunk of cars,
Oh.
so
Yeah.
you don't have to.
I have.
Oh, look at all the.
I have.
Right.
I have filled it
How
up.
How did you find so many rucksacks? I
think-
haven't found a single one. so
These literally 2 places that we went
Just be
to that were
better,
just loaded with just stuff. So I'm kind of like, oh, okay, well.
Man, that one sucked for me.
Oh,
You're
Are we going?
Yeah.
I haven't found anything because I'm kind of just running around hoping for the best.
Oh, don't take his rucksacks, Hannah.
Take it all my
Like
stuff.
Hannah. That's what we're here for, so I can be better at the game by taking your things.
Alright, I'm just going to pick up one more thing from in here, and then we're good to go.
No worries.
Okay.
I might just make a lot of noise and get zombies.
Attract
to
some
spawn us.
zombies.
No.
That's what we're really here for, right? The zombies. I'm just sitting in the car waiting. I'm like that naughty child, right? Being like,
Yeah.
Yeah, stay there, don't touch
have you
anything.
guys
don't
leveled
talk to
up?
anybody.
Yeah. Don't die. Don't die. Have you guys leveled up to a point where you can specialize in stuff yet?
I have yet. Whose second corner is this? Oh, it's mine now.
I was
don't
just
know.
like, is that a pizza symbol?
Yeah, I think had a feeling that NPC dropped it.
Yeah, I think she had.
Who's just walking casually up the road now.
She doesn't want to ride home.
What a bad idea.
Why is this lady not getting?
Oh,
going?
I'm driving. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, Fletch.
How come your NPC isn't getting
I don't know. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're gonna go.
There we go.
We're gonna go back to home base so we can drop off all of our stuff and get some sweet materials.
Oh, yeah. And is home base the mark on the map at the moment?
Yellow
Is that
mark.
your waypoint?
Yep. So that's a custom
Cool.
mark.
Custom
Ooh.
waypoint. Oh, yeah. Who did that? Was that you, Thomas?
That was
or-
me. Oh, you missed the turn.
Killing it. Fletcher.
Is it not behind this big brick? Is it? Have you got a really cool
You've got to
base?
go up the hill. So, did we just run over something?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. See? Should I really be going this way?
No, there's a road on to the right.
It's a big thing.
There's a big road on the right there.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
This is why.
You're
turn
killing it,
left.
Fletch.
No.
Kill them with your doors. It does the least damage to your car, so I can just crash your car into all of the things. I would love to see Thomas's face right now. I bet you're just sitting there in so much pain, being like, Fletcher, you have come into my game and you've destroyed all of my things.
Poor car.
I should probably just be letting Thomas do the driving right now.
You definitely should be. I like that Thomas at the beginning apologised. He was like, sorry, I'm not a very good driver. And now he's just like, oh, maybe I am.
If I take this hill really
Yep, there
fast,
we go.
we'll get up
Yep,
there,
yep,
right?
Yep, nailed it. All right, now you got to park the car.
Perfect logic,
And
my
then another little
friend.
car park off to the
Oh.
side.
I'll use something I call collision braking.
Oh my god.
Why
I'm
am
just
I
getting it.
fatigued? I'm sitting in the back of a truck doing nothing.
Yeah, so that's obviously part of the game. You get tired. So
Okay.
if
Can
you're
we explain
fatigued,
to the people how we fix that?
yeah,
Explain to
I
me.
was just about to, but you interrupted me yet again, Hannah. My lord.
Sorry.
So once you're in here,
Okay.
you press that that share button, the one that looks like two TV screens on your controller,
Yeah.
and you
Oh.
go to community and you swap it over.
Where's
I
that?
hope you're
Oh,
RB, and you can choose between your people, but so many of them may be exhausted because you don't have a base
Alright,
for
I've
them
got
to
one
rest
left,
in.
guys. I've got one left.
Oh my.
Um,
Wait, what happened to?
Out of curiosity,
I'm learning, alright, guys?
what oh, I don't even know what I was going to ask you, Hannah. I've forgotten a little
I
bit.
don't know. Do I have to sleep and stuff? Is that why my people are tired?
Yep.
Yeah, that's why your people are tired. They need to sleep in a bed. I'm real
Guys,
curious
people
to
aren't
see.
here to watch us sleep. They're here to watch us kill zombies,
sure
alright?
I'd
Are
see
you-
I like your character's jacket.
Oh, why? Thank you. This was one of the random random characters at the start. I did find out the hard way that your gates stay open.
So you should definitely close them to keep yourself safe. right?
You don't get attacked a lot.
they
I just got
close
attacked very
after a
randomly.
certain amount of time, but like if you leave it,
Yeah.
because if you notice now, it's gonna close by itself in like 10 seconds.
You're lying to the
there
people,
you go.
Fletcher.
My one's because I
Yeah,
spawned
see, I'm
just
right.
before.
10
I might have
seconds.
even been recording, so I might have evidence. I'll have to see, but and I just spawned into a zombies attacking my base.
Oh god.
Ooh. Tough times. Okay, we're all
right.
standing at Fletcher. Put your gun away.
So,
Why is my guy just having a stretch? Why am I useless?
have you guys used your radio before to locate a play cart?
No, I haven't really.
So,
I like that you're asking me that question. Obviously not.
if you
Thomas.
press up on the D-pad, you'll have your radio options. So it's call for help, medical advice, find resistant people.
I have no radio commands available.
We'll be able to see from Thomas's screen because we're in his community.
Okay.
Which is easy. The only problem is I don't have enough influence to find a play card. I'm at 264, and I need 350. So, what we
I
can
need
do,
to establish more outposts because I have too much.
we can go fight a wandering horde instead.
Let's go
do
fight
that.
a wandering
That sounds
horde.
fun. Let's
Oh, I can't.
get going. Let's fight some
Fletcher's
zombies.
Parking has made it very
Don't die.
difficult to get into the car. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna have to
Get
get
in
in
the
the other
car.
side. Oh no, there we go.
There we go. There we go.
Just hold
As
the
Thomas
door out.
driving.
it is me.
Brum brum.
Zombies in that horde.
Oh, there's a horde right next to our house. We should take out that actually.
Yeah, that's.
We should defend our honor and our home. How do I get out?
Oh.
Like this. Oh. Like that I'm like, yeah, let's fight some zombies. Go boy. Yes.
And
I did nothing.
Thomas,
that was
I
that.
did nothing.
you took my kill away from me.
I got an achievement. Flash
Be
mob.
better, Hannah.
Oh, let's not drive.
Destroy a horde.
I just want to get in the car.
You gotta get on the other side.
You gotta get to the. You can't just kick someone out of the seat.
He just jumped in my way. Okay, we're getting there. Oh, look at that swift ass turn.
Just showing off now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna break your door for that. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't do something.
Alright, so we got 500 meters to go. There's a zombie right in front of us. Nope.
Missed him.
Oh, here we go, Fletch.
Oh, here
Oh, no.
we go.
My side.
Oops. Oh.
Alright.
Is that you just permanently with your door out, mate?
Yeah, it's tough.
Of course it is.
Who needs to go around it?
Oh!
Oh!
Get out! Oh, get out!
Let's not draw their
Get out,
attention.
guys!
How?
Everyone
Chris, why?
Thomas.
Man, that was
didn't
such
know
a
there was a
long
cliff there.
leading scene.
Oh, there's a zombie right
there's
here
a
as well.
zombie.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Don't worry, guys, I've got it.
Can we flip your car?
I don't know if you can.
I think your car's gone.
I
Why
think-
do I have my torch on still? Come on.
Is there a way to...
Okay,
No.
I can flip your car.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, the car is gone.
Hey!
No, it's not. I see the option.
Oh.
There we go.
That just...
We do need to go find a repair kit now, though.
I've got one, but I don't think I have any mechanics.
Wow.
Oh, I need to get into the side of the car to drive. Alright.
Oh, even if you don't have good mechanics, you can still repair it a little.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, well, let's see if we can...
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, beached it.
Beach dares.
Oh, here we go again.
Alright, time for a
Oh
roll.
no. Get out.
I just booted me from the car.
Thomas.
No.
Oh my god, did you see me fall out?
I don't know where I am.
I've been,
Oh.
I'm stuck.
I don't know if I can flip it this time. Try push it with me, Hannah.
Oh, hold on.
Just run into the back with me.
Please. I'm in this...
Oh, that sounds really bad.
Are you still in the
Hannah,
car?
what are you doing?
No, I'm in between the
I'm
car and
trying
the
to
tree.
Does this, is this real life? Are you gonna die now?
Please no. This is one of the main characters I need for the story.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna open the trunk and steal all your things
Oh,
while
wait,
I'm
no.
here.
Hey,
No, that's
hey,
fine, that's
I'm out.
fine.
I got it. Alright. The car.
Oh, you got out.
The car's
Did
gone.
you manage
We
to...
missed-
I can't
Oh,
flip
did you
your
just
car.
see him
Yeah.
well, this looks
Lie.
like a homely neighborhood.
I can't flip your car. I'm so sorry, Thomas.
It's alright. That was my own doing.
This...
Uh,
Oh, so well.
look how sad my character looks. Alright, friends, where have you gone?
Alright, we're gonna go to the custom waypoint.
I'm just chasing after. Yeah. My character at least has like level 5 stamina, which is awesome.
I know nothing about this man. Guys, I'm stuck on the side of a hill. Where are you?
Just follow where we are.
I'm trying.
On the map. Just don't run at a rock, run around it.
Yeah, right, guys. Don't be mean to me. I'm learning, okay? Oh, hello.
Hey, creeps, I'm talking to you.
Hey, creeps, I'm talking to you.
Handy dandy emotes for when you need it. Alright, we're gonna run over this way. I've just noticed all my characters are quite fatigued, so I'm kind of like, oh, even if I switch them, it's kind of...
How do you unfatigue them? Can you explain to us, Thomas?
So they just recover...
Fletch said he was going to explain to me how you look after your people, but he
so
didn't.
it's
I'll
pretty much...
explain to you once you've got a base.
Oh my god, there's so many of them here.
I ran off completely in the other direction just because I saw one. I was like, I'm going to get that one, guys.
Oh, this is Screamer.
It's a Screamer.
Infestations are down.
What does that mean?
That means they will attract other zombies. They'll just like scream and attract a whole bunch.
So that's not what we want, right?
No,
It's not.
No,
So
no.
usually you want to kill them first if you can.
Okay.
But it didn't matter. We bossed them.
No problem, guys.
Oh, I just realized we don't have a car, and if we find multiple rucksacks, oh, what have I done?
Yeah. We'll try share them if we can. My first rucksack. I finally found one.
Hannah's just run off.
I found some zombies, and for the sake of the game, I'm gonna kill them.
You know.
Is that like
It's a lot of
obviously?
loot.
I've got a
That's why I'm
ammo
not good at
rucksack
things,
on me.
guys, because I just want to do the exciting bit, not the actual. Okay. No.
But this
there's an
establishes
ammo
the
rucksack
story,
in this
Hannah.
thing here. If you
I'm clearly very impatient. I'm just running around killing zombies.
I have a food one.
That car is more puckaroo than Thomas's.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer a case of honey, which I like? I wish I had a case of honey for my base.
Actually, what I could do is I
I'm
can
finding it so hard to scavenge food.
switch to Pariah and give him that.
What are you doing, Fletch?
I was seeing if I could climb the roof. I couldn't.
It's a bit of parkour.
wanted to
Must
know.
be. There's a little bit of parkour in this.
Bit of parkour.
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 Alright, so let's have a look and see where... Oh, nothing found. There's a small infestation
Can I
right next to
search
us as
and
well. Oh, and there's a
I believe
utility
that's the
truck
point of the
over there.
game, is it not?
Let's do it. No, that wasn't criticising you for
Not
searching.
criticising. No,
It
no.
was a good thing to do.
Thanks, mate.
Leave Pariah.
Nothing.
Why is he called Pariah? Was there a story, or did people just not like him?
No, his name's just Pariah. He has a brother whose name is CJ. So that was the combo team I got, the first choice.
Oh.
And
Hey guys, there's a small farmhouse with an infestation of 8. I've never had that message come up to me before.
oh yeah.
Get out
So
of it,
there's a
Thomas. This
screamer
one's
in here
mine.
as well. First and
Yeah.
Oh, there's a screamer right in front
Come
of
at
me.
me.
Ooh, that's awful. I'm stabbing at a wall.
That was cool. I just climbed through a window and I managed to get the screamer straight away.
There's just three bad guys left.
Some of those creepers are
Oh,
nearby.
There's one outside by
There
Pariah.
is a-
There's two by Pariah.
Get it together, Ryan. Oh, hello.
Boom.
Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us on week 10 of the EZNZ podcast.
Yeah, another great podcast as always. Won't repeat what we
Yeah,
always say.
but...
Should make it a rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. Like, we played a few games. We might be working a tad late because of it. We might have gone a bit overboard
We had a
that
lot of fun
time.
though, and you guys are coming on this journey with me to become both a better person and a better gamer. There was no controllers thrown today.
You
I'm
did
pleased
well.
to
You did
report.
well.
I definitely zoned out a little bit when you guys were coming in. You were doing things like you will notice in the gameplay that I was not a part of the tactical team. I saw a zombie, I ran for them, I killed them, then I came back and later been like, so what's up guys, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But I'm
But it
all
was
about
good.
the fun
It was good.
stuff.
You've got to run over Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have ran you over.
Yeah, as revenge. Yeah. Some great times, a great game, heaps of fun. Highly recommend you guys check it out for yourselves, State of Decay 2. And of course you can pick that up on Game Pass, which is even more awesome. We've talked about Game Pass an awful lot, but for $10.95, why not at least try it out for a month?
Such good value. And of course, the other thing you have to do is check out the ExpertZone GameMasters there. They're great people to watch. There's like Thomas said, there's 5 of them. I've definitely had a watch of a few of their streams, and they're always awesome. I love it when they have an interactive stream going as well.
Yeah.
My goal is now that I've broken all Thomas's windows in State of Decay 2, is get him to drop all his gear in PUBG one day. So hopefully we can make that happen. It'll be good.
Hashtag Troll Thomas.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hashtag Troll Thomas. No. But we'll absolutely be sharing you more links around that. It's such a cool tool for us, but just a cool thing to get involved in.
Absolutely. As we kind of said when we were talking to Thomas, this ExpertZone community is so wide and vast. There are so many people, both here in New Zealand and all around the world, doing some amazing and awesome things, including you guys being a part of our family here on the ExpertZone New Zealand pages. So thank you so much for being involved. And as always, we extend the question of the week to you guys, which was what has inspired you in technology this week? And I can't wait to hear some answers to that.
It's going to be good. Going to be real interesting.
Always nice to get inspired, and maybe that'll inspire us for what we do next week on week number 11 of the podcast.
Absolutely. Well, until then, anyway, guys, we will.
Yeah, we better go back and do some work.
Go back and do some work. Yeah, absolutely. We've got a few meetings this afternoon. So
some things, some stuff, but recording podcasts and playing some games.
It's going to be a little bit of a downturn after playing games.
But what can you do?
Yeah,
what can you do?
It's awesome. Love my job.
Love my job. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.